Right then, we are back, and today we have for you Doink the Clown up against Crush. Now, I've wanted to use Doink for a while, and I thought when it comes to Halloween Havoc, it was probably a good time to use him, that whole creepy clown motif, of course, the sort of person that Omega absolutely loves. But I've always struggled to really figure out who to put someone like Doink up against, because he's so heavily gimmicked. It just is always a struggle with me to find the right person to put him up against. So I sort of looked into his history, and apparently the best feud that Doink ever had in WWF was this one against Crush, which culminated in a big match at WrestleMania 9, which was not very well thought of, to be honest with you. Just looking on Cage Match at the moment, it got a... where's it gone? It got a half a star rating from the Wrestler Observer's new letter. It got a 3.17 out of 10 rating from the fans as well, so pretty poor, to be honest. But then again, the entire card was pretty poor by the looks of it. I mean, the best match on the card was the Steiner Brothers versus the Head Shrinkers. And Tatanka versus Shawn Michaels. Those are the best two matches on the card. This one was pretty poor, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. And I just wanted to use Doink, because we've not really used him much at all. Looking at the ranking system for Doink, he is on -1 after 1, but that one match came in 2021. So we haven't actually used Doink for 4 years. So a big opportunity for him. Question for you guys, though. I have realised while looking at it that Brian Adams, of course, plays Crush. He was Brian Adams in WCW, Crush in WWF. At the moment, we've got the two of them separate on the ranking system. I think we are going to merge them, to be honest. So Crush is on +2 from 2 back in 2021. So we're going to delete Crush. And we're going to have Brian Adams. We're going to increase him, so he is going to get those 2 points. Okay, so now Crush / Brian Adams is +3 from 3. Of course, the two matches for Crush back in 2021 I just mentioned. And Brian Adams has had one match so far this year as part of Chronic alongside Brian Clark when we had our Invasion pay-per-view a few weeks back. Right then, so we are ready to go on this one. Yeah, I don't really know who else to really throw Doink up against in the future, to be honest. What the hell? What? What just happened? The bell went, all of a sudden the lights went off. Doink is grounded, and all of a sudden there's another... What the fuck is this game on? Why is this game smoking? Okay. We've got two Doinks. We officially have two Doinks in the world. This game throws me so much sometimes. It really does. Well, Crush has taken the early control in this one, even after being distracted by a second Doink. And I don't even know where these guys stand. I mean, how good was Doink the Clown? Is he someone who's ever going to win anything in our universe mode? I mean, let's have a look and see what he did win in real life. Titles. Oh, he's won several things. Nothing in WWF? No. He was a former WCW United States Tag Team Champion and a former WCW World Six-Man Tag Team Champion. He won some belts in NWA, mainly Tag Team Championships as well. I think this is all before he actually moved across and became Doink. Yeah, so... Okay, yeah, so he won the WCW United States Tag Team Championships alongside Ron Simmons in WCW in 1992 when he was known as Big Josh. So yeah, the whole Doink thing, I think, came around obviously when he joined WWF in sort of late 92, early 93, I believe it was. So yeah, as Doink, he's won a couple of championships, both on the independent scene. We need to get these guys back in the ring because I'm dangerously close to a count-out here, and I don't like count-outs on this game. We've already had some weird and wonderful things happen in this match with double Doinks, but as Crush does manage to re-enter the ring on the 7 count, going after Doink. I don't know who the favourite is here. I mean, I would imagine that Crush is your big powerhouse favourite, and Doink is sort of like that creepy, crazy guy who's just got the shenanigans to try and win the match. Like second Doinks and all sorts. There's the leg drop from the middle rope by Doink. And now the pin for the 1, 2. Only a 2 count, but Doink doing well here. Who won it in real life, then? Who won this match in real life? It was Doink. Doink won the match in real life. Yeah, this was the WrestleMania, by the way, where The Undertaker faced off against Giant Gonzalez in a match that has got a 0.7 out of 10 rating, according to the fans on Cage Match, and it got a quarter-star rating by the Observer newsletter. It was a bad enough match as it was, and it ended by DQ. How bad is that? You had Yokozuna versus Bret Hart as well, which actually wasn't that bad. You had Hogan and Brutus Beefcake as the Mega Maniacs teaming up to take on Money Inc., IRS, and Ted DiBiase. Of course, IRS being the father of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. Razor Ramon versus Bob Backlund. See, on paper, that should have been a decent match. It didn't even get a rating because it only lasted 3.5 minutes. Tatanka versus Shawn Michaels is interesting. But yeah, the highest rated match on the card from the fans, actually. The highest rated match from the fans on the card was the Steiners versus the Head Shrinkers. The highest rated match by the Observer newsletter, even though it ended by a count-out, was Tatanka versus Shawn Michaels. Doink now dropping his body weight across the chest of Crush. And of course, this is the first of 3 matches we have today. Next up, we're going to have a rematch from this year's NXT Halloween Havoc. We'll see Mr. Iguana and La Parka taking on Leon Slater and Javon Evans. And then later on, we'll have the second of our #1 contenderships for the YouTube Tag Team Championships. We've got Mexico's Most Wanted, Damien 666 and Halloween, versus the Broken Hardys, Matt and Jeff, versus the Acolytes, Farouk and Bradshaw, versus Boom and Doom, Big Boom, AJ and QT Martial. As Doink now has done really well in this match so far, to be honest, rolling over Crush. We can also use Doink again because Doink wrestled a little bit of ECW, I'm pretty sure. He was called, is it Born Again, I think he was called? Of course, Doink's real name being Matt Bourne. In ECW, he was known as Born Again. He had a sort of slight gimmick of a clown, but not as much as he does, obviously, as Doink. It'd be interesting to maybe showcase him in some of his ECW stuff. Doink ECW. What did he do in ECW? Going after the back of Crush's leg there. Extreme Championship Wrestling did a little bit in 1994. He was 911 surprise opponent in the NWA title tournaments. He also had a match against Shane Douglas for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. He criticised Vince McMahon for turning talented wrestlers like Bourne into comic relief characters. Well, there you go. Okay, so he didn't really do much after that, to be honest. His tenure with the company was short-lived due to personal problems. Okay. We could definitely use him, though. That'd be interesting. Sure we can find something for him. As Crush now standing over the grounded Doink, and there's like a claw. A bit like an iron claw there. Doink the Clown, by the way, was rated number 26 in the PWI 500 in 1992. That's mad. I didn't think he was that good, to be honest. Pin now by Crush on Doink. And Crush has got it. Wow. It was pretty dominant towards the end, I must admit. Bryan Adams really just showcased his power and strength advantage over Doink for massive parts of this match. And even after we had a secondary Doink at the very beginning, it wasn't enough. But it is enough for Bryan Adams / Crush to make his way up to a +4 after 4 now. Undefeated, I think, actually. 4 matches undefeated. Very, very good by Crush. Maybe we should give him some more opportunities. I mean, I don't think Crush was necessarily the most talented wrestler in the world, was he? Let's have a look at Bryan Adams. Crush. Championship. So he was a 2-time WCW Tag Team Champion alongside Brian Clark. Of course, a 1-time Tag Team Champion when they freebirded it alongside Axe and Smash as part of Demolition. Won the All Japan Pro Tag Team Championships alongside Brian Clark as well. Okay. Probably not too bad, to be honest. They got the Worst Tag Team of the Year award by the Observer newsletter in 2000 and 2001, which seems a bit harsh. And the Worst Worked Match of the Year with Chronic versus The Undertaker and Kane at Unforgiven. I don't remember that match happening, to be honest. Yeah, I'm sure we can find something for... I mean, we'll have to have a look at and see what what Crush did then. If I look at his matches, can I sort by rating? I can't. Match guide. Oh, there we go. Match guide sort by rating. So Crush's best ever match was a tag team match. Crush and Smash versus Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Bret Hart. Singles-wise, Crush's best ever singles match was Crush versus Shawn Michaels in 1993. Okay, the game has made this a rivalry. Ah, that's clever. That makes sense. What else we have? Billy Kidman and Rey Mysterio versus Crush and Brian Clark. Crush versus Doink is up there as well. Crush versus Lex Luger. Crush versus Bret Hart. It's a lot of people actually carrying Crush when you think of how good some of these people are that he wrestled, I suppose. But anyway, we'll call that it for now then. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. If you have, hit the like, subscribe, the good stuff, and I'll see you a little bit later on. Like I said, up next, we'll have a rematch from NXT's Halloween Havoc 2025. Mr. Iguana and La Parka takes on Leon Slater and Javon Evans. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.